Uncertainty is everywhere, in our jobs, in our health, our relationships, and unfortunately, many people try to deal with it in unhelpful ways. So today, let's look at how to handle uncertainty more effectively. Hello, Mindful Explorers, and welcome back to Mindful Way to Be. My name's Chris, a registered therapist. So let's first examine why uncertainty is difficult to live with in the first place. To our brains, not knowing feels like danger, whereas certainty is essential for our survival. If you live in a safe place, have strong relationships, and a reliable job, you're doing well. Your life is good, and you have some sort of stability. You know that for now, you're safe and secure, and you hope that things will stay like this in the future. But if you're living on the edge, concerned about paying your bills, you don't have a sturdy job or somewhere to live, then that is a threat. And the thing about modern life is it's full of uncertainty. Just spend 10 minutes watching the news. There's so much doom and gloom about everything, like global warming, war, conflicts, technology advancing at a rapid rate, which could compromise our jobs. On top of that, there can be a lot of uncertainty in our life. Think of your health, your career, your finances, or your relationships. There's no guarantee that all of these are going to stay stable all the time. So when there's so much to think and worry about, it is difficult to be okay with uncertainty. If you have these things on your mind all the time, this can lead to an intolerance of uncertainty, meaning you're freaking out about all the things that could go wrong and getting stuck in loops of catastrophizing. The thing is, people often try to cope with uncertainty in unhelpful ways. So when I was talking about this intolerance to uncertainty, it often leads people to worry uncontrollably. People don't realize that subconsciously you can hold on to positive beliefs about worry. And I've had clients like this that think that by worrying, they're overthinking situations and things that will go wrong in order to plan for them. It doesn't really work that way because overthinking and chronic worry is actually counterproductive. You actually spend more time worrying and getting stuck in these thought loops rather than actually preparing for something. Another thing that people do is seek reassurance. This could be from a friend, a colleague, a family member, or they may even search online to get answers for things. Perhaps if they're worried about an illness and they're constantly searching to make sure it's not something serious. And getting reassurance may work in the short term, but long term, you're not dealing with uncertainty at all. You're just depending on people to make you feel better. Something else you may do is avoidance. You may avoid going to places, certain situations, or making appointments, all in order to avoid uncertainty because it makes you feel uncomfortable. And whilst this may give you some temporary relief, it's feeding and perpetuating your anxiety. So let's look at some ways to manage uncertainty more effectively, so it's not causing you discomfort, stress, and anxiety. So number one is developing a tolerance to uncertainty. Basically, develop this intolerance like a muscle. Start getting out your comfort zone and facing uncertainty in your daily life. Now, it's important to start out small, not take giant leaps. So you could go to a restaurant without first checking the reviews. You could leave the house without checking the weather. Or if you're going somewhere in a city that you know isn't too far or difficult to find, try not using something like Google Maps to help you get there. That way you can treat these experiences as something interesting. You may get lost, you may not like the food, but who cares? These are experiments, right? And the whole idea is to get used to uncertainty. Number two is to control what you can. Get really good at practicing this. Figure out what positive actions you can take in your life. So for example, if you have a job interview, you can't control what they're going to ask you, but you can prepare as best you can for it. You also can never predict if you're going to get a serious illness, but what you can control is your diet and your lifestyle. You can exercise more to decrease your chances of getting sick, or even if you do get ill, you'll recover faster. Essentially, this helps you to stop worrying about the bigger things that are out of your hands that you can't do anything about, whilst taking action of the things that you can. Number three is to practice mindfulness because it helps us to live in the present moment. And people who are struggling with anxiety and intolerance of uncertainty are really great at catastrophizing about the future. There are plenty of resources and books that you can find about mindfulness, but it's really useful to start by focusing on your breath, because that is also something you can control and it's always happening in the present moment. As a bonus, this also helps you to calm down your nervous system to feel more relaxed. The final strategy, which is my favorite, is to embrace and accept uncertainty. Now, I know this does sound difficult to do, but just think about it for a second. Would you like your life to be 100% certain? Would you like to know everything that's going to happen? You may be thinking, yeah, that sounds good. I know I'm going to be okay. But imagine how boring your life would be if everything was predictable and you knew everything you were going to get. Some of the best moments in our life come from the unexpected. It's that amazing spot you found when you got lost trying to go somewhere, or that new relationship you developed when you tried a new hobby. Life is full of color and unexpected surprises, so enjoy them when you find them. Don't shy away from them. So although uncertainty can be scary, it can also bring surprise, excitement, and new experiences that you never expected. I hope that video gave you something to think about. I'd love to know about your experiences of uncertainty and how you manage it. So please leave a comment down below. Each week I make content about mental health, psychology, and self-awareness. So if you think that's something you'll find helpful, please follow and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next week.